What's going on, everybody? I'm here to predict the Week 5 NFL schedule. Now, I'll start off with saying last week I did a little better, not much better though. I was 7-8, hoping to do better this week. Alright, first off, we got the Thursday night game, the Colts and the Patriots. So just as everyone started to think the Patriots were kind of looking towards the end of their dynasty, they're starting to look really good. They came off of that beating the snot out of the Dolphins at home, who were leading the division and in fact still are. But I think the Patriots continue. I think they get the win here, 31-17. I'm not impressed by how the Colts did last week against the Texans, making that, whatever that play call was, in their own territory on 4th and 4. I don't get that. Anyway, I think the Patriots come out on top. I'm not sure it's going to be that close. Next, we got the Titans and the Bills. For the Bills, coming off a 1-3 start, got shut out by the Packers. It's weird because they either seem to be destroying people or they're getting destroyed. And the Titans are looking pretty good this year so far. I have them winning this one 30-10. I don't think it's going to be that close. Next, we got the Falcons and the Steelers. Now, this is a bit of a disappointing matchup because the Steelers aren't doing too hot this year. Neither are the Falcons. They both only have one win. The Falcons coming off 2 straight home losses to the Saints and Bengals. And the Steelers coming off that loss at home to Baltimore. Anyway, the game's at Pittsburgh. I could see it going either way, but I have the Steelers in this one 20-16. Yeah, it's a little... Both those teams are kind of disappointing so far. Next, we have the Broncos at the Jets. See, the Broncos, they're not looking too bad. They almost beat the Chiefs at home. Probably should have beaten them at home. But I guess Patrick Mahomes was too much for that Denver defense. I think the Broncos come off of that and get the win here because I'm not too impressed by the Jets. First, they beat the snot out of the Lions week 1, but they haven't won since then. So I think it'll be close. I think the Broncos win by 21-20. Now here's a really good one. We have the Jaguars and the Chiefs. The Chiefs continue to dominate. They've looked really good. They're 4-0. Again, we did see them start this hot last year and nearly make the playoffs. They started out 5-0, lost 6 of 7 down the straight, and completely laid an egg in the playoffs. I think the Chiefs win this one. I think it's going to be really high scoring, 44-41. Again, I could see this going either way, but it's in Kansas City, and the Chiefs are a really good team. Next, we got the Packers and the Lions. The Lions, I don't understand them this year. They get thoroughly beaten the snot out of at home by the Jets in week 1. Then they lose to the 49ers, but beat the Patriots. And then lose to the Cowboys. I understand that. I think Packers impressed me last week with that dominating win over Buffalo. I have the Packers in this one 21-14, although I could maybe see an upset, kind of, but I think the Packers take this one. The next we have the Ravens and the Browns, and this is my upset pick of the week. It's a little bold, but I actually have the Browns winning this one. Browns haven't looked too bad this year, actually. They almost beat the Raiders, probably should have beaten the Raiders. And the Ravens aren't looking bad either. I have the Browns in this one by 1 point. That's my upset of the week. I may regret taking it because, after all, it is the Browns. You never know with them. Next, we have the Giants and the Panthers. Now, the Giants, they're kind of an up-and-down team as well this year. They started out 0-2, then they lost. They beat the Texans, lose at home to the Saints. I think the Panthers are pretty good this year. They're 2-1. They're coming off of bye. They're at home. I could see this one going either way, honestly, but since it's in Carolina, I have the Panthers in this one, 27-20. Here's a bit of a better matchup. We got the Dolphins and the Bengals. Now, the Dolphins are still leading their division, but they're coming off of an absolutely disastrous game at New England, losing like 38-7. Bengals coming off that win in Atlanta. And this one's in Cincinnati, and I could see this going either way, but I have the Bengals winning this one 38-35. think it'll be really close, but in Cincinnati, I have the Bengals winning. So we have the Raiders and the Chargers. Now, the Raiders got their first win last week against the Browns at home. The Chargers aren't looking too bad either. Now, this is a close one, but I have the Chargers since it's in LA. I have them winning this one 25-14. Next, we have the Cardinals and the 49ers. What's going on with the Cardinals? I don't get it. Like, they can't seem to finish a game. They're the only winless team in the league right now. The only winless team. I wanted to pick them so bad in this game, but I don't see it. I mean, they have won 6 straight over the 49ers. I think it's going to stop here. I don't think this one's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be a defensive game because both teams are kind of struggling right now. So I have the 49ers in this one 17-14. Could maybe see us winning that one, but I can't go with them at this point because they prove me wrong every week in a bad way. Next, we got the Vikings and the Eagles. Now, both teams are kind of struggling a little bit. The Eagles coming off that loss at Tennessee, and the Vikings coming off 2 straight losses. One where they got absolutely kicked right in the butt by the Bills at home, and the Eagles coming off that overtime loss at Tennessee. Now, I have the Eagles in this one since it's in Philadelphia, and both teams are kind of slumping right now. I have the Eagles in this one 28-21, although I could see it going either way because the Vikings probably want payback, but I think the Eagles take this one. Next, we got the Rams and the Seahawks. Now, the Rams are looking really good. They won that shootout game last week against the Vikings at home last Thursday, and the Seahawks coming off that last-second win in Arizona. Now, this one, maybe I could see an upset, but I have the Rams since they're just too good to pick against so far. I have the Rams winning this one 37-20. I don't think it's going to be terribly close of a game, honestly. Next, we have the Cowboys and the Texans. The Cowboys coming off that last-second thriller at home against the Detroit Lions, and the Texans coming off that thriller of a win at Indianapolis. One that they kind of got lucky because the Colts made a very stupid decision to go for it in their own territory. This one I could see going either way, but I have the Texans in this one 23-16. It's in Houston. Again, it could go either way, but I'm picking the Texans. Next, we have a pretty good one here. We have the Redskins and the Saints. Saints coming off that win on the road against the Giants. The Redskins are coming off a bye. Now I could definitely see this one going either way. Because the Redskins aren't looking that terrible either, and the Saints are looking pretty good, just like everyone thought. Now this one's at New Orleans, and that's a pretty tough place to win at. So I have the Saints in this one 37-30. Alright, so there you have it. That's what I've predicted. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. And I'll see you next week.